YouTube fam. Happy New Year. I hope you guys all had an amazing New Year celebration. For all y'all who partied and had to recover yesterday, good for you. I slept in. I am not I'm not into that partying as much these days, especially with everything going on in the world. But I did enjoy I think I napped twice yesterday before I had to run off to a friend's birthday party. But anyway, I hope you guys have been enjoying the holiday season. My 2 week stint is coming to an end of holiday time, so sadly I gotta go back to work tomorrow. Boo. But I did want to take a look at a couple of trade setups that three trade setups that I took a look at over the last few days. One that I was testing out, I did as a paper trade. The second, I did as a real trade, and third, I did as a paper trade because I didn't trust it. So let's like review and see what's up, right? Because I'm literally going through the ICT 2022 mentorship vids, and they're answering so many questions, and I like what he's showing. And I've gone through a few other folks bids, and I like them too, but I think ICT goes into in-depth and super details. If you like that sort of thing, check the link in my description. This isn't a shill or anything, it's just what I'm using, you know? And he's answering questions that I've been asking that these other folks haven't really been able to answer for me. So if that sounds like a good time, hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know how you spent your New Year's, because that sounds like a good time. Now it's time for the first time in 2023 to make myself tiny. So I'm annotating a lot, based off of what I'm learning with ICT. So you'll see my notes and we'll zoom in on all that first. So let's start with our first thing. This is all on BTC because um my Ethereum, and I did have a potential, but there was a point when I was looking at Ethereum, it just looked like chicken scratch, and I didn't understand what was happening. So I was like, no, thank you. Like, I was like, uh, no, I'm not doing that. Then I saw something that on Saturday. I was like, this would be good. And I didn't take it, but before that, this all looked insane. So I was like, no thanks. I'll leave that alone. I don't see what I'm looking for. Maybe if I'd gotten in earlier here, then I would have been able to take a short from there. But let's uh let's zoom in on the first of the three, as you can see. Two worked, two that didn't, and I'll tell you what happened with this one. So I paper traded this one actually. So let's zoom in on that puppy. So first things first, right? Like the way this process works for me is and this is all ICT, right? So like what he's basically teaching is, you know, figure out the stop hunt, right? First, let that happen first, and then watch how price like, forms afterwards. So like for example, on this 15 minute, and actually let me get my grid replay back so we can get over to where I actually entered on this thing. And then this way we can look at it. So like let's go back up to the 1 hour, right? So I was looking at like at the daily stuff, and I was like, okay, so it's pretty bearish, whatever, whatever. So I'm expecting price to take out this wick right here. I think it's from like the previous, it's like the low for the day. And let me see. Yeah. So it was like the lowest spot because the previous day's low was a little was higher, I think. It's 29th, 30th. Yeah. So Friday, this was the low from Friday. So this was something that I could aim for, right? The end of this wick was what I was thinking. Anyway, so like when I zoomed in on the 15 minute, then I started to see structure forming, right? So here we have this fair value gap. So it's the difference between the end of this candle and this candle, and that's the imbalance, right? Like and the algorithm wants to come in and rebalance that. So once I saw it rebalance that, and then it started creating these intermediary highs, right? That means that this candle's high is higher than this one and the one next to it. And then it created another one here, boom, boom. And in my mind, um, it's kind of like equal highs, right? So the fact that we kept going lower, from my perspective, gave me the opportunity to look at, like, say, the 5 minute imbalance that formed here as a potential, because with this intermediary um, high right here, sorry, that it formed, and it didn't go above it for me, and we had this imbalance. That gave me an opportunity to wait for price to come back up into the space and then show me, like a decent entry. From my perspective, this order block right here, right, at the forming of this would be a great entry, which is why you see that my entry is set in this general vicinity, right? I think it was at 16,505. Yeah. So I set that. When price came back up into it, I hit the buy button, the sell button, and then, walked away. And as we see, oopsie, and aimed for this low right here. I didn't bother to go too crazy. Ooh, right. And then it went and made the sell side liquidity. Now I could have been a lot more. That's a 1 to 3, right? I could have been a lot more, like, what's the word, aggressive about it, right? Because if I look to the left, and I was really considering the fact that, this wick was a little bit below this guy, so they're eating that. There's also this sell side liquidity and that sell side liquidity. So I could have aimed for any of these wicks technically. Oh, apologize for that. Right in my nose there. And I could have been even more greedy and come all the way down here, but I don't know if that's a good plan, right? So I thought to keep it a bit conservative, and I aimed for this instead. And that worked out pretty well. Oops. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, good. So so that one I did not take, and I should have. Let's dive back. Let's dive into the second example, because in my mind, the first one was based off of the way price was being structured, right? So actually, sorry about that. Let's go back this way. Right. So based on the way price was being structured, right? And we can go into even lower time frames to figure out the entry. And I have this thing here, which is a bearish order block. And it's based off of this green candle technically. And I figured since, we're right about there, we could get an entry, and that worked out. Could have also dropped down to like the 4 minute or something and seen if there was a different entry that we could have taken as well. And actually there kind of was, right? Because this also broke down. We had this nice big fair value gap that formed between these two, and then this little guy. This is a bearish order block as well, so I could have set my order here and written it down as well, and then I wouldn't have had to wait through all of this. Honestly, I don't know how long that even took, but I'm starting to realize that I'm sort of okay. 2 hours. I'm sort of okay with waiting. And you'll see that as I walk through the second example, because oh man. So this one, similar setup, right? And for this one, I took a look, and they'd already eaten all of these stops, right? Above here, 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 everything that had been forming, right? Boom, boom, gone in one big gross mean wick. So once I saw that happen, I was like, all right, cool. Now what's left is this buy side liquidity, the stops above this guy. So I was like, wait, I waited for that to be hunted. And then similar scenario, right? Once it was hunted, it created its own intermediary high. And there's only one I'm learning from ICT if it leaves like an imbalance or fair value gap attached to it, right? And I'm finding that it's important for me to wait. So once this one hits, then wait for another one to form lower to confirm my hypothesis. And also because there is a break, right, in the structure. And I set the break up here. But, this break in the structure definitely helped. And then I could wait. Technically, I could have had my entry right here once the break occurred. So I could have had an even better entry from this order block right there. Boom. That would have worked out beautifully, right? But I waited for this one. And again, it created another intermediary high, which is good for me because I'm like, sweet. And I feel like they're gonna, this had a single, oh, sorry, this had a single um fair value gap attached to it or imbalance, right? So I set my order block to this guy right here. Like it was at 1610. Pretty, yeah. And it tapped it like it was crazy. It tapped it exactly and then dropped. It was beautiful. Mwah. Anyway, so what happened with this one is I was aiming too far. My actual aim was down here, and I'm making little notes for myself, right? Like up here, it's like liquidity was taken, the intermediary high was formed, looking for a price to come back to this order block. This is before it got filled. And then got the entry at the base of the bearish order block, which is great. And then as it dropped, it formed another intermediary high here. So I've actually moved my stop loss to right above here at 16,588. And then I later, as price was dropping, and it dropped here, and I should have known better once it wicked and then created this intermediary high. Um, that is probably a good time. I should have waited for this to be filled right here. And then, got out. Because look, they saw, they filled, and then they went back up. And I could have exited here with about 3% or so approximately, but I didn't. I actually waited and waited, and I kept it overnight. And that's a problem. And I'm realizing that for these intraday trades, I need to be out of them during the day because I kept it overnight. Because then the bias for that day is done, once the next day starts. So I actually kept it because I moved my stop loss up to here and I got stopped out yesterday morning. 90, 0.99% profit, whatever, but still, you know. And then I was thinking to myself, and actually, if you look at my notes here, and I was tracking the different breaks as it kept going down, I was like, good, we're continuing to make new structures, new intermediary highs, and all that jazz. And I was considering moving my stop up here, and then here, and then so on, but I didn't because I was like, it's too close. These guys were too close. This was better. This was better. Anyway, you can see my note here where I was like, looks like price. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's pretty small. But I made this note here. It looks like price is turning around. I need to determine better take profits. I think it will still go down, but it's too slow of a day. Interesting, for me, because I was like, well, here I am aiming for this bigger imbalance, right? So if I'd now move it back up to where it was at the time, right? So if I had, and then I thought to myself, maybe if I drop the fib just to get a feel for where it could go and where I could drop it, then I would have, I don't know, been able to see that my entry from a standard deviations perspective was actually, above the zero point 0.5 area. So of course, in a premium, which is what we want. And then understanding that like this movement is like one standard deviation, right? Not bad. So then I could have, aimed for there or just about a little bit inside of it maybe, and then that would have been fine. Sometimes they tap it and they don't. Like look, I could have changed my take profit to the top of this thing again at 16,502, they would have tapped it and gone back up again. Again, that would have been based off of the imbalance here, but I was like 2:15 in the morning. I wasn't awake for that. But this is where I should have been making changes because I was paying attention to it. And yeah, I think it got into about like 4% unrealized profit P&L. And when I looked at it again, I was like 3.52. I should have just exited, but I didn't. Things to learn and grow through, but the process is sound. So far, two good ones. So then yesterday morning when I got up, I was like, um, looking at a similar scenario. So I set myself up, had some buy side liquidity taken right here, and they actually came up and tapped into this. And I should have known that they probably would have wanted, and I hadn't, in all honesty, for yesterday, let's go into the daily because I think what I should have done on the daily was check my bias, right? So let's hide all that stuff. So if I'd seen the way my power of three bias for yesterday, I should have known it was going up, right? The reason why I should have known is um the wick when it dropped down, it was above this guy, you know? And that should have kind of helped me realize it would have been like some sort of inside candle. It was a slow day, so I wasn't really expecting a ton, but looks like we're having a nice green start to today. I'm probably not going to put any real trades in today. I'm just going to relax and watch movies and be lazy. Actually, I'm going to do some ICT and then do that. And then wait to see what the markets do tomorrow. But, for yesterday's setup, let me put that back. All my notes. Okay, so for yesterday's setup, let's go into the 15-minute. So I hadn't really consulted the daily chart on this one. So let me move this over. Just so one thing I'm learning is like I took a look at the opening price for yesterday, which was about here. See, I have it marked out here. And then when 8:30 hit, because I waited, right, for potential entry, um, it opened higher up. And if we look at the opening price, that was lower than the 8:30 price, and I should have known that. I should have taken that as confirmation, right? That's um because we had like this opening price, a little marked, it dropped below it, and then just kept trading higher, right? And then at 8:30, it dropped below, which should have been an indication that it was going to continue on up. But I didn't see that. But these are growing pains, right? Because yesterday's was different, right? The opening prices. So Saturday's opening price was here. It was on this candle, right? And it traded lower. And then 8:30 was here. So 8:30 gave me what I was looking for, right? It traded higher and then it dropped. And then it gave me a potential entry close to like noon. Unlike yesterday's version, which after 8:30 it traded lower, which should have told me something, right? Because look at what I could have done from an entry perspective. Beautiful, right? Nice shift in market structure right here. Let's turn that off, right? Nice shift in market structure right here after the 8:30 drop. And then nice fair value gap right here. So from an order block perspective, I could have picked this guy right here, or even this one, and I would have caught that entry like gangbusters, yo. And then I could have aimed, right? So first, if I caught this right here, I could have aimed for that. Would I have gotten that in the day? Yeah, would have gotten that in the day. Would have gotten a little more actually, because there's all of this to aim for as well. And big imbalance right here. So let's see, do we have more? Yeah. So that Could have aimed for this imbalance, and that would have been a nice little run. Let's see, what would that have given us from a long perspective? And this is where I need to be a lot more, what's what I'm looking for? A lot more flexible, because I would have picked this guy. Sorry about that. And then understanding that this is an intermediary low and this one created a new one, I could have set my stop loss just below this intermediary low, nice and tight, because it never went back down. Then I could have set my to adjust a little bit into that, and that would have been, whoa, that would have been a nice swing. That would have been a nice swing. 1 to 875. That's crazy. But anyway, I am understanding that I am going to annotate this for yesterday, and I really need to make a quick note right here. Note did not check the daily bias. Should have reviewed, should have noticed the midnight, I can't spell, and 8:30 opening price lower swings, which are a good indication of direction. So this is a good lesson. I like that, because if I'd noticed, then I would have gone the opposite direction and that would have worked like gangbusters. What do y'all think? Awesome. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to set my note right here, make it a little bigger. Okay. And put it right there. And then I'm going to save this chart image right here. So I have it. And then that's going to be it. All right, gang, fam. That's a nice little one for 2022, getting started. And I'm having a little coconut water so I can be hydrated. This is going to be a good year. We're going to make it happen. We're going to learn and grow and be better. And this is what I'm looking for, This is what I need. So I am going to continue. Actually, I'm going to pop off after now and I'm going to do some more ICT vids. It's about 7 a.m. Eastern Standard in the DC area. So you enjoy that day off. Relax yourself. I'm going to get about an hour or two of ICT and I'm going to take another nap. Because why not? I'm still off. All right, let me know your thoughts down in the comments and subscribe if you feel like it. This is I, I like this. This helps me understand what I'm looking at in the charts a lot better. And it's really important for me to annotate and understand why I did certain things and review those because these screenshots I'm dating them and putting them in my trading journal and I'm reviewing them and this is why I did this, why I did that. And it's I'm happy with the results because right now I'm more concerned with the setup and how I can appropriately time my take profits and things, right? The first one worked really well and I could have taken it lower, but that doesn't matter. The second one worked really well too, except the market, it was New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, whatever. I didn't expect a lot of movement, so I should have been a lot more conservative with the take profit. And those types of things are what's really important to understand, I think. So, and it's hilarious because I put it in my notes and I still overshot, but I should have taken what I already had. But that's okay. There's going to be a lot more of these trades, and the more I understand, the better I'll get at it, the more precise I can get these entries, which is, I love it. Love it. Okay, so I'm excited. This is going to be a great year. Lots of good stuff coming, lots of growth potential. If I can be even 1% better every day, that's what I'm striving for. I don't do New Year's resolutions. I have goals. I'm going to work towards those goals, right? And my goals are for this year to become a profitable trader. If that takes me another few months or 6 months to understand what's going on in the markets, so be it. I'll continue trading my small account and go from there. Oh, I am actually considering looking at the micro the micro accounts for NASDAQ and S&P because I also want to have other more stable options for trading. So I'll definitely be doing that. And so in the coming weeks, I'm gonna be looking at how to use the TD Ameritrade and take a look at some other brokers and see if those are worthwhile. But in the meantime, you'll see me drop vids on the the e-mini micros for NASDAQ because they're like, how much? Hold on. Let me before I close this one out, let me pop over here really quickly. Okay, yeah. So like I was looking at it and it looks like so for the micro, um it's actually like the contract sizes are like $2, $5, and so on. And I feel like if I can be profitable with these smaller accounts, right, then I can move to the E-minis, which is like $20, $50 for the S&P and so on. So I want to try and trade the NASDAQ and S&P or just the NASDAQ specifically and see how it works out for the year as well. But I'm going to start with the micros so I can manage my risk while I'm learning. All right. So I think it's a good plan to have multiple options. So there's also going to be me learning exactly what it means in terms of spread, ticks, or pips, or whatever, right, before I even get in there. So I'm testing out the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform, and I haven't gotten very far yet. Just have it downloaded, and I need to watch some vids about how to even use the dang thing, you know? So there's that. But yeah, that's basically it. That's my plan for the year. Amongst other things, I'm gonna try and get into other different investments, but with my full-time gig, oh, I should note, I probably won't be able to make a video every day. That's assuming because usually I want to get up early, work out, eat, and then try and make a vid, um, based off of what I think is gonna happen in my trades and stuff, and then testing stuff. I don't know how busy I'm going to be, but I'm definitely going to be trying to at least post, if I can, as usual, once a day. If not, I will drop like a comment in the community post to say, hey guys, sorry, it's a little busy, but I'm gonna drop some content pretty soon here. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So this is already at like 28 minutes. Let's stop the madness here. Mm. Yeah, well, happy New Year again, y'all. And let's make 2023 the year to be best we can be at whatever the heck we want to do. For me right now, that's learning to be an even better trader. Because I told you guys already, my goal is this: long term, 8 years from now, I should be able to sit on a beach with a laptop and a nice tropical drink, looking at the charts, chilling, doing my thing. Done. Make my own hours, set my own time. Well, those two things are the same thing. My bad. Make my own hours. Be where I want to be, financially free. Simplicity. That's all I'm looking for. I don't need a lot of stuff. I don't need a lot of flashy anythings. I just want to be able to say, oh, you know what? I want to go to Bora Bora and chill for 2 weeks. I go. Laptop comes with me. I look at it, I see a trade, put it in, go chill on the beach. All right. I'm done. I'm done. Finally, I'm done. But, Happy New Year. Let's get this party started, going. We've got this. Shakira out.